Hands, what's the deal? All right, man. So just got done looking at the weigh-in. Wait till a few y'all get up in here and let's talk about this. Talked about it yesterday, man. My mind hasn't changed, especially after seeing the weigh-in between Wallen and Brazil. Lion Killer, what's up, man? Just want to chop it up. I pretty much talked about this fight yesterday. I pretty much said all I can say about it as far as the Brazil versus Wallen. Got a chance to see the weigh-in, and both guys are pretty much at the weights that they're accustomed to usually being at. The J. Roos Theory, what's up, man? Brazil came in at a little bit over 261. He's usually between 255 to 260 in pretty much all his fights. I think Israel Gono, he was like 263 for that one. Then AJ and Wilder fights, he was like 255. So he's good weight for him. All right, his normal weight. Aldo Wallen 240. That's pretty much on par to what he's usually at. So both guys, for their standards, are in really good shape. So should be all action, man, when they get up in there. We know how Brazil likes to fight. Then I even listened to the presser. Pretty interesting presser that they had, man. Both guys seem extremely confident in what they can do. Thinks that he has the edge and just overall skill set and fundamentals and footwork and hand speed and head movement, defense, all that. And on paper and seeing what they've done and their pedigree and the way they came up, I would also edge that to him as well. However, there's a thing called physicality when you're in the ring, and Dominic Brazil brings a lot of that, and if you don't know how to deal with it, he can overwhelm you. Anthony Joshua, responsible defense, great power, shit, even more powerful probably than Brazil is. Quicker, sharper fighter. He was able to deal with that pressure, and then Wilder didn't even let him get a chance to even gain no momentum in their fight. To later rounds with him. So got to be able to deal with his pressure. Now, will Wallen be able to do it throughout a whole fight? Do I think he'll be able to do it for the first few rounds? For sure. And I think he'll probably outbox Brazil in the first few rounds and touch him up, man, the way that Carlos Negron was able to, and Israel Gono, and they're able to touch him up. Bruce Goes, what's good, man? Mark Blake, salute. James Dax says Brazil was 261.2. Yep. And Wallen 240.4. Yep, they're right on par, man, with where they're usually at. Lion Killer Podcast says going to have Paulo Malignaggi on tonight. Hope to see you there. I'll definitely be there. Definitely be there, man. Lope, what's good, man? What's the deal? So yeah, man. But so before I get to what I was mainly making this video about, well, it was to cover the weight, but I wanted to talk about, because I talked about Brazil and Wallen in excess yesterday, but Povetkin versus Dillian Whyte, man. I saw something, y'all. I saw something. I want to get y'all's opinion on it. I was doing my homework yesterday, studying their fight, and I saw something. You know what I mean? But before I get to that, tomorrow, along with Wallen and Brazil fighting on separate cards tomorrow, you got on the DAZN card, who's on the damn DAZN card? Johnny Fisher. He's making his pro debut. He's a heavyweight out the UK, making his pro debut tomorrow against Matt Gordon. That's on the DAZN. Sonny Kanto will be fighting on ESPN Plus, heavyweight out of Philadelphia, 6-0. I think he has 5 stoppages. Young, nice hand speed. We just want to see how he does. But Sonny Kanto's fighting on ESPN Plus, heavyweight. And then there's another one. Oh, Timothy Moulton will be in action. I believe there is a link to the fight that I left in the community section. All right, but Timothy Moulton, I interviewed him a couple days ago. He will be in action also tomorrow. Okay, so you got Johnny Fisher making his pro debut on the DAZN, UK heavyweight, Brazil Wallen, and then Fisher, Timothy Moulton's fighting. That's pretty much it. All right. Now, well, yeah, also fighting is Jean Kasabutsky. He's 14-0 with 13 knockouts. He'll be fighting Pavel Sauer. You guys heard of Sauer. He's fought Huey Fury and a few other guys. All right. But let's get to this Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin. Look, man, I noticed something, y'all. Now, watching the fight, and More paying attention to the way I'm looking to the way that uh Dillian White was able to knock down Povetkin. Okay, first of all, Dillian White, I think, man, at this stage of his career, should revert to being a counterpuncher who works behind an aggressive, long jab. The reason I say, but it's just his fighting spirit. Once he get, you know, those guys that if you hit them once, they want to hit you back 5 times just as hard, right? So he's always can get tempted into just banging it out and having a slugfest. But I think when he moves a little bit, and I'm not saying he has to be Larry Holmes off the back foot, but just move a little bit, keep his head offline, and use his jab. The thing I noticed in the fight with Povetkin, when he knocked Povetkin down, he knocked him down both times counter punching. Both times. The first time he knocked Povetkin down, it was a counter, what was that, a left hook he landed on him? That first knockdown? A counter left hook. The second time he knocked Povetkin down, it was a catch and shoot counter where he caught it. He caught the shot with his left, and then he threw a left uppercut. It was a catch and shoot. I've seen him kind of fight Dave Allen. When he fought Dave Allen, he fought him kind of off the back foot, moving a little bit, working on things. I think Dillian should revert to that, man. I think you'll have more success trying to counter Povetkin than trying to be ultra aggressive. Now I understand you get the guy hurt, you're trying to get him out of there, but to me that's when he had his most success. Now when he got knocked down, he was being aggressive. Well, Povetkin did set him up because Povetkin threw that combination that I've seen him work on a million times on the mitts, where he kind of throws a jab, but it's just to touch you up top to kind of distract you. He'll throw the jab and then dip down and boom, it come up with an uppercut, a la Mike Tyson, right? So he kind of set Dillian up, but had Dillian had the distance, it's either with Povetkin, you either want to be all the way on the inside to where you're clenching him and holding him and wrapping around and putting a vice grip around his left arm so he doesn't get any type of left uppercuts or hooks off close range, or you want to be completely on the outside to where you're using your reach advantage. And he was doing a good job of popping Povetkin's head back. There's a lot of good things to take away from that fight that Dillian White had with Povetkin. Now, he got his ass stretched out at the end of the day, and that's what counts, right? But I was studying, man, and that's what I noticed, that when he knocked Dillian White knocked down Povetkin, it was off Dillian White countering him. I think he needs to take the position of a counter puncher this fight, and depending on the styles and who he's fighting, he should revert to being a counter puncher at this stage of his career. Heavyweights, they usually can change it up a little bit from the first part of their career towards the back half, and we'll see if he has that type of quality, or will he just go in there and just beat Dillian White, go in there and try to bang you up out of there. But there's some things I took from that fight that he did well in, man, and that he did well at, and I think countering and using his jab. But he loves a good mix-up. Once you hit him, he wants to go to war, all right? But that's what I saw, man, and I was like, damn, Dillian's not that bad of a counterpuncher. Then some made me go back and watch the other fights that he got caught. The AJ thing, but the Parker and Rivas, he got caught with Parker with a right hand. He was more just exhausted going into that 12, but he got caught with a right hand, and then Parker did kind of land like a left uppercut as he was falling. Rivas caught him with an uppercut when he had his damn back against the ropes, trying to defend, again, either be all the way on the inside or all the way on the outside, all right? Now, I know all this is if, you know what I'm saying? So, if this and if that, but that's what I took away when I did my studying on him, on Povetkin versus White going into this rematch, man. So, let me see what y'all got to say, man. James Dax says, I have Brazil winning via unanimous decision. You think it's going to go to UD? Blackout, what's good, man? Big L says, Ringendow versus, BG London says, Brazil showed his heart against Amir Mansour and Anthony Joshua. Yeah, Amir was walking him down, even knocked him down. He was making Brazil go back in that fight, man. Then he ended up, you can't fault Brazil. It's not his fault that Amir Mansour suffered a, slice in his tongue and was swallowing his blood. I mean, he's the one that couldn't make it out. And shit, the reason why his tongue got sliced because he got punched in the mouth. Now, he may have bit down on it after that, but yeah, the reason of that happening is because somebody was punching you in the face. And Brazil did show heart because Mansour was trying to stalk his ass down, man. Man, I wish Amir Mansour could have been around in his like 30s and late 20s, man. I know he did that prison stint, but For a guy that got out when he did, man, and resumed his career in his 40s, he didn't do that bad because they were throwing Amir in there deep. They were throwing him in there with Washington and Brazil and all the top prospects, Herkovic and Kuzman. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Loke says I got Wild and UD. Povetkin versus White might get pushed to March 27th, according to Eddie. Oh my goodness. I haven't even seen that, man. I haven't looked on no websites today. I only checked. Only thing I went to check to see today was the weigh-in results. So I hope that's not true, man. D says Brazil is a punching bag. No top level in shape heavyweight should be getting beat by him. Well, I think you know you gotta be able to deal with his pressure. You know, if you can't deal with his pressure, man, he gonna overwhelm you. My man Retro's boxing documentaries, Blood Boxing says Brazil laugh out loud. The boxing QB, the boxing quarterback, Christopher Williams. Um, Patrick Bateman, salute. You was going off this morning, but I was listening to your live, man. When I was getting ready to make a move, man, you was going off today. BG London says, I've never seen Povetkin vulnerable before. He might have mixed feeling due to the knockout and getting dominated. Hold on, I've never seen Povetkin vulnerable before. He might have mixed feeling due to the knockout and getting dominated. Only time I really seen him vulnerable in the fight, man, because he even fought AJ well until AJ started to catch up with him and start to use his jab. Only time I really seen him ragdoll is the Klitschko, and Klitschko was doing a mixture of ragdolling him, clinching the hell out of him, throwing him around, but in the midst of all that muddy action we seen, Klitschko was landing some hard ass lead rights, some hard ass uppercuts, man, and some hard left hooks on Povetkin. It was just everything was happening to him, getting hit with hard shots, uh, getting wrestled down. Um, just a rough night for him in that Klitschko fight. Patrick Bateman says, is Jared Anderson the best American prospect since Shannon Briggs? Ooh, that's a lot to say, man. Shit. He's good. He's definitely a young, talented fighter, man. Just want to see more of him. Um, but he's a solid prospect. Very solid. D. says AJ broke White's chin, been shaky ever since. He also says USA heavyweight tournament, make it happen, Mr. Boxing. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get these guys to talk, about fighting each other. I'm trying to do, what I can on my end, man. Patrick Bateman says Brazil might have CTE by then, end of his career. Dude has taken a lot of punishment during his career. Yeah, bro. Even his wins. That's what I was saying yesterday. Even when he wins fights, he has to go through hell and hot water. Look at the Carlos Negron fight. He was getting pieced up, man. And I know but if Negron had a little bit more power, he could have probably stopped Brazil. He was putting all types of combos on him, man. Jab, right hand, double left hooks, uppercut, triple left. He was putting all types of combinations on Brazil. He gets hit with everything. The Israel Gono fight. Even Fred Cassie was making it difficult a little bit for him. AJ, I mean, the Deontay Wilder fights, like every fight he's taking a lot of punishment. All right, y'all, give me 1 second. All right, y'all. Let me see here. Answer a few more, man. I'm gonna jump off. Let me see. The J. Bruce Theory says, Mr. Boxing, do you think White's legs look unstable at times when he gets fatigued? Man, not only that, gets a little bit sloppy. His defense goes very hittable, vulnerable to get hit with shots. I mean, but that's pretty much a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? I hope he wins. Blood says, I hope he wins. I think he'll go. I think I will go with Brazil. Has Wallen fought since the Fury fight? Yeah, he fought Travis Kaufman. He stopped Kaufman. Kaufman ended up, what the fuck was it? Something wrong with his elbow or arm? Yeah, he threw his arm out or something, but Wallen was closing distance on him and getting the best of him, though. But it was, he fought Travis Kaufman, Blood. Crazy D3 was good. He says, White will always be vulnerable to an uppercut. Yeah, that's, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, man. Revis, Parker, AJ, Povetkin, I mean, shit. Crazy D3 says, what do you think of Ronnie Hines? I think he is a solid prospect, 10-0 out of Ohio. I know he beat Sonny Kanto in the Golden Gloves championships, or the championship round of the Golden Gloves in 2018. Tall, rangy. I like his skill set. Want to see more of him, man. Haplotype was good, man. Unrivaled Boxing Talk was good. He says, I got Wallen winning on Gas Tank. I think Brazil inactivity has lowered his punch resistance. That's a good point. Wallen's feet and southpaw stance will give Brazil a lot of problems. That's a good point. Think he TKOs him in the later rounds. That's where I disagree. I agree with all that. I'm going with more of the upset, Unrivaled. My brain is telling me that Wallen wins this, but I'm going with my heart on this one. I think Brazil's going to overwhelm him in those middle to late rounds, to where Wallen will slow down just enough to where he's on Brazil's pace of fighting.
Wallen don't have the power to stop nobody.
And my wife thinks that Wallen doesn't have the power to keep Brazil off of him. All right, but yeah, technique, Wallen, check. The fundamental skill set, Wallen, check. Hand speed, Wallen, check. Footwork, everything except that thing called physicality. And Brazil does a good job of biting down on that mouthpiece, man, and he will not give no for answer. And I looked at the part of the fight when he fought Fury. I so much looked at the part in the later rounds when Fury was fighting the way that Brazil likes to fight, when he was leaning on him, pushing him, putting him in headlocks and resting on him, and because that's how Brazil likes to fight, with that type of pressure. Make Wallen fight a quicker pace fight. The first few rounds are going to be tough for Brazil because that hand speed is going to be evident. It's going to be evident in the defense, but once things start to get slow up, start to get a little bit muddy, start to get tired, fatigued, leaning, grabbing, then I think that's when Brazil will shine through. All right, but we'll see. Michael Johnson, Boxing Talking More, what's good, bro? It's good to see you up in here, man. That's pretty much it. Y'all ain't gonna talk y'all ears off, man. Walter Martinez was good, bro. James Daggs, what it do? King Strick, what's up, man? That's pretty much it, y'all. I ain't gonna talk your ears off, man. Blood says Michael, he's talking to him. Unrivaled says, I didn't say KO, I said TKO, I think. Okay, Dom's going to be gas.
What was your sauces? No sauces.
In round 8. Okay. Correction, then. Frank White was good, man. He said you think Wallen pulls this off. Yeah, Wallen is the favorite. He's a minus 250, so I understand, and based on their skill set and things like that, I can understand. But Brazil has the experience, but with his experience, he's just been in a lot of wars, man. A lot of wars.
Come on, man. Thank you.
James Dagg says Wilder KO Brazil looked like a fatality. Yeah, that shit looked like something out of a video game, man. Town Biz, what's good, bro? Shout out to Town Biz, man, because I could have gapped to the fight this weekend. It was just too quick of a notice, man. But shout out to Town Biz, man. I appreciate that offer, bro. He said Wallen versus Brazil gonna be a solid fight. Yeah. Yep.
Very excited.
Unrivaled Boxing Talk says it's a damn interesting fight. Tell us all about where Otto Wallen is. I think he's at a point of his career, man. This is a crossroads fight. He definitely has a skill. I mean, the dude's been, he's one of them under the radar dudes that was in the amateurs. He fought AJ. That fight's actually on YouTube of him fighting AJ. Was it 2010? Fought AJ. He's been in AJ training camps. He was in AJ's training camp when he was training for Charles Martin. Always a good, and look, Wallin has had a tendency to prove me wrong, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I always thought that Adrian Granat was the better of the two Swedish prospects between those two. They fought each other. Now, this is after Granat ended up getting beat unexpectedly in the first round by Dimitrenko, but then they end up fighting and he schools Granat. Then I thought that he would do a better job and put up a better fight than Tom Schwartz, but I didn't know about how much because I didn't think he was ready. And he went in there and made it an interesting, competitive 8-4-ish, 8-4 Fury type of fight where it was competitive. You know, when like it's 8-4, you have it like 8-4, but it's competitive. Busted his eye off a punch, so he's living off that, and he was able to handle Travis Kaufman, which he should be able to, but he did it in an aggressive manner. He wasn't trying to just fight off the back foot against Travis.
Only missing 8 spicy tenders for you. It's gonna be like 3 minutes unless you want mild. I'll take
So
mild.
picking up some lunch for the kids, man. What they say? Let me see. I appreciate that $2 holler for my man Unrivaled Boxing Talk, man. I appreciate that, bro. Retros for Life Boxing. Retros for Life 79 Boxing. What's good, man? He says Wallin will not keep Brazil off him. Brazil will go to war with him. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, man. Yeah, for the kids, Bruce. It's like ordering for a damn football team, man. Because we got 4 of them, and then also got my youngest brother who is living with me for this school year. So yeah, it is a basketball team. Hey y'all, let me end this, man. I gotta look through these damn bags, y'all. Hey, y'all be easy, man. Till next time I'm gone.